So I'm going to teach you while I'm cutting. So we're going to start with the baseline. Remember I told you that first cut is very important. Because if this is messed up, the rest of the haircut's messed up, right? So she's just getting her inch trimmed. She got a good inch off. She said that her hair was looking a little thin and straggly, so we're just going to clean it up. So we got the baseline. Now we're going to take our next section down. Her hair is very fine, so although I'm going to texturize the line, it's still going to be considered a hard line, right? Because she needs the weight. Her hair is very fine, so you don't want to do too much choppiness in there. But as you can see, I'm opening and closing my scissors because I don't want that, right? I don't want that. I want the hair to still move. Right. You need me? Okay. So I'm going to go around, follow that all the way around.
So some people's hair you like bring it down, and some people you can just cut it straight across.
Well, what do you mean?
Like, you know how like you're taking like some of it down and then you're gonna do the next part and bring it down, and then
so it depends how thick the hair is. If the hair is very dense and very thick, you gotta take sections. If she got very, very thin hair, I could probably pull it down, give her one line and go, right? So like I told you, when you're cutting somebody's hair, there's no one rule to everything.
Right.
That's why when I tell you when you're cutting, understand why you're doing what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? So because her hair, she has full head of hair, but it's very fine, I'm going to take sections because her hair she has a lot of hair, right? It's just very fine. But I'm going to take sections because I don't want to miss a part. If her hair was just this thin, I could cut it one line and go, right? Like I said, somebody that has a lot of hair, like thick, massive amount of hair, dense hair, I'm definitely going to go in with lots of sections, smaller sections. Her hair is not so dense, so I can actually just take 2 to 3 sections and get her hair cut. Okay, the baseline anyway, right? So we'll go on this side. Now, also I was telling you too, you can move the chair. But if you feel more comfortable just moving your body around the chair, that's fine as well. Just make sure you're comfortable cutting as a stylist. Okay? So, I'm going to make sure that looks good before I keep going, right? The line's nice and straight across. Take my last section down. Right? Like I said, I'm opening and closing my scissors. I want the line straight, but I don't want it so hard, you know? So I'm breaking it up a little bit with my scissors. And I'm letting the hair fall. Yeah, I'm letting the hair fall where it falls from the head here. I'm not bringing this over here. I'm not bringing that over there. Remember I told you at the beginning, you part the hair, rock the comb where the comb lays flat. That comes back. Remember I told you that? Right? Because you have to cut hair to each person's head shape. Right? When we're in school, we just have mannequins, so we just start cutting and, doing what we need to do. But when you're cutting a person, a real person's head of hair, the hair is going to be so different, the head shapes are going to be different, so you got to be very mindful. Okay? So now we got the base part cut, right? So now I'm going to put some soft layers in there. So when she likes to wear her hair curly, so I'm going to put some soft layers in there. I'm going to turn my scissors back so I don't cut myself or cut her hair by accident. Pull it out. See, this is my guide. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm definitely going to do choppy lines in here. I'm never going to do a straight line in here. Okay? See that? Yeah. Because if I go in, I'm going to show you down here. If I go do a straight line, when I drop this, and the layers are going to look like steps in her hair. I want them to flow and blend. I don't want you to know where her layers begin and where they end. Right. So when you're doing layering, especially on very fine hair, actually, honestly, whenever I do layering, I do choppy. I never do hard lines on layered hair. It just doesn't look good. You ever be behind somebody in line and you can tell they got some choppy layers, somebody jacked them up? It's because they're not blending. So as I'm layering her hair, I'm blending it as well. So even when her curls fall, see that?
Yeah.
You can't, it's just a soft line. There's no steps. So pretty much what we're doing right now, she wants a trim, a cleanup, but we actually gave her a good inch off today. She said her hair is very fine, and when it gets to a certain length, it looks very, it can look very straggly. So she wanted to make sure that her hair looked like it has some fullness. So she asked me to take a good inch off today. So all I'm doing at this point, I started here in the center, and I'm working my way around with the same guide. Same guide.
This is where I wanted to see how you did layers.
Right, this is exactly. So there's different ways I do different things. I'll show you other techniques, but right now I'm just giving you a simple layer cut. I'm pulling the hair out about 45 degrees. And it's funny, so like I said, as I'm cutting her hair, I'm going to customize it for her head. Her hair's a little thinner here, so I'm going to do a little less layering here, right? Just a little less. I don't want to take all her weight out. She has more density in here, so I can do a little bit more layering in here. But when I get around people's hairlines, because usually it's thinner, I usually do a little less layering, right? Some people have more hair here. So like I said, each client, each customer, you want to make sure, here, come on this side. You want to make sure that you know whose head you're cutting. You want to look at the density of their hair. You want to remember the actual desired look they're looking for, right? Because when you're in hair school, we just start cutting hair, right? Cut, 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 cut. But when you get out of hair school, you get real customers. She got thin hair here, thick hair. It gets curly on the back. This side does this. You have to look at all of that before you start cutting. Also, because of her curl pattern, I washed and we blow dried her first. Blow dried her really pretty straight with the blow dryer, right? So now I can really see what I want to do and what I don't want to do. Now I'm going to do this. Right, so now I got all my layers where I want them. But I also promised her like a little side bang. So I like to do a little triangular part in the center here on both sides. I'm going to keep it pretty long, but her bang looked a little straggly too, she said. So she asked me to give her hair some life. So now I'm going to connect that bang with this side. And once again, when you're doing cutting, I can't really say there's a lot of right and wrong. You just have to be able to look at the person's head, see what they're looking for, look at the density. So now I'm just customizing it for her now. See right there, that looked like it's a little choppy. I'm gonna go in there and blend that out. See that? Blend. Boom, boom, boom. So you can still tuck that behind the ear. See that? And everything's gonna still match. Now, the last thing I do when I do a haircut, especially with layers, close my scissors again. I do a nice diamond shaped parting at the top. Right? Nice little diamond. It doesn't have to be a perfect diamond, but just a nice, here, at the crown, top of the head. And I pull it up. And when I do this, I'm gonna blend both sides together. Right? So now, if she wants to part it this way, or that way, or in the center, the hair is gonna fall the same.
Okay.
Right? So whenever I do side bangs or whenever I do layers, I'm gonna always take that part up in the center and make sure it meets here. So no matter what if she changes her part tomorrow, and if I didn't do that, a long piece might have fell over here, or a long piece might fall over there. So I don't want her to have to go home and find that perfect part that I did.
Okay.
Right? So when I do that, that's me customizing her cut for her hair.
And you take it in the crown?
Yeah, that's me pretty much checking my haircut and making sure, like I said, if she wants to part it left or right, this hair is gonna go where it needs to go.
Okay.
So pretty much, this is how I do a light trim with some layers. That's all.
It's okay.